Hello everyone and welcome back to my next video. Today we are going to be reviewing chapter 1033 of One Piece titled Shimotsuki Kozaburo, and this chapter is insane. It focuses solely on Zoro versus King, but also has a couple flashbacks to Zoro's childhood as well as his moments when he got the Sandai Katetsu in Loketown, and then of course when he got the Wado Ichimonji from Kuina's dad, I think. But the entire chapter is mainly about Zoro. He's trying his hardest against King, and it's just not working. King's endurance just seems to be, out of this world. Like, Zoro has been shown to be able to like cut characters like Kaido and stuff, but for some reason King is he's not taking any damage. Whether that be just from the sheer durability that Lunarians have, or some other part of his ability that we don't know. Either way, King has the complete advantage here, and of course Zoro is also injured. He got the medicine from the minks, but I doubt that completely healed him up. So I think there's still some, drawbacks in, but I think he's still fighting at pretty much full strength, trying against King, and it's just not working. But anyways, the real meat of this chapter comes from Zoro's flashbacks, as I mentioned before. So the first couple of flashbacks is when King launches Zoro off Onigashima, and Zoro's like trying to get all of his swords because they like fell. So first he gets the Sandai Katetsu. He remembers when he bought it at Loketown upon hearing that it was a cursed sword, and of course the idea of cursed swords is something that this chapter is revealed to us as something that Zoro is familiar with, and has a place in his, I wouldn't say in his heart, but definitely like in his memory. He remembers it, and I feel like that it was one of his driving motivations to buying the Sandai Katetsu. And of course the next is Wado Ichimonji, which we get flashbacks to Zoro as a kid, after Kuina died. Where he asked for the sword, he got it, and he vowed to get stronger to fulfill the promise he made to her that like one of them would become the strongest swordsman. And along with him getting the Wado Ichimonji, it also flashed back to, I don't remember his name, but it's the guy who looked after Tama. I don't know why I'm blanking right now, but anyway, he was saying that the Wado Ichimonji and Enma were made by the same swordsmith, Shimotsuki Kozaburo, of course, which is also the title of the chapter. But then Zoro's like, wait a second, this is a sword from Wano. Why was it even in the East Blue? Like, how did Kuina have it? And then we flash back to the old man in Shimotsuki village, who also, told him about Tsunachi, which he told Momo, but he himself didn't use it because apparently he just thought it didn't sound cool or whatever. Wait, hold on, let me go back. What did he say? Okay, he says, I don't think I'll use it. It sounds weird. Just kid Zoro, that's just how straightforward he was. Well, of course, this old man, it turned out to be Shimotsuki Kozaburo, the swordsmith who crafted Enma and the Wado Ichimonji. Right, Wado Ichimonji, yeah. And he's also Kuina's grandpa, which would explain why why Kuina had the sword in the first place. And Kozaburo also died while Kuina was alive. We see that in a panel where she's crying at a funeral with her dad. I'm almost certain it's her dad, the dojo master. I don't know why. Like, there's a part of me that's thinking that's not. But there's a panel which shows his head like cut off. So I don't think that's really suggesting anything. But who knows? Maybe they're like hiding something. I doubt it. But Shimotsuki Kozaburo, he definitely saw something in Zoro when he was a kid, because he gave him some swords. Maybe it wasn't a real gesture or anything. Maybe he was like, oh, I don't really care about these swords. Here, you can have them. Or maybe he saw something in Zoro and was like, I'll give him some swords. I mean, he definitely took the time out of his day to like teach him about like swords, cursed swords, and stuff. Which I think his explanation of cursed swords, even though it seemed like Zoro kind of like forgot about him, now I feel like that was something like in the back of his mind they thought of in Loketown when he bought the cursed sword. And I'm gonna have to read that part in the manga. I watched the anime during that section, but I think I'm definitely going to read that see if there are any hints of him like remembering it. Although I doubt I would have thought that far ahead, but still, it would be cool to find some stuff. But of course, Zoro also remembers that Kozaburo also even like told him about Enma, about his magnum opus, his best sword. He named it after the Lord of the Underworld, which I guess in Japanese is called Enma. And upon this, Zoro has a realization that the sword wasn't like trying to get Zoro killed, but was rather testing him. I guess when your previous master was Kozuki Oden, that's kind of a high bar to pass, But this is where, things really get crazy. We got all that exposition before in the flashback, but now Zoro, he activates his Conkers Haki. There's some like random fodder characters in the background, like some beast pirates, like, oh, Zoro, we'll take him out for you, as if, they'd even be able to. But get instantly knocked out by Conquerors. And Zoro, he seems to coat all 3 of his swords in Conquerors Haki, which is honestly insane. Like when I first read it, I was like, okay, so there's like some smoke stuff, but like, okay, that's definitely Conquerors. Like I just saw like Haki, and I kind of just like skimmed through that panel, but then I went back and I'm like, wait, no, that's definitely Conquerors. And then King also says, so you've also got kingly ambitions. And Zoro was like no longer, before he was like, Conquerors, do I have that? Whatever. He's like, no, he's like, I've made promises to my captain and my friend. I guess you're right, I do have these kingly ambitions. I'm going to become the greatest swordsman. He caught all of his swords, all 3 swords that he has on him in Conquerors Haki. And now I think the battle between him and King is going to be very interesting. I'm very excited for what's going to happen. Also, another thing that completely skipped my mind is also Sanji, him and Queen talk to each other for like a single panel. But basically, Queen was like explaining Lunarians. He said that they were monsters that could thrive in any environment in the world, like no matter what. And which is why, assumingly, they were eradicated, they were wiped out. But apparently in the past they were considered gods, god-like creatures, which is very interesting. And because of that, I doubt King is dying in this arc, because I feel like there's more to see of him being the last Lunarian ever. But I am excited for what he's gonna show. I am excited to see what's behind the mask, although I don't expect it to be anything crazy. Like I don't expect it to be a character that we've seen before, right? But anyway, my prediction for last week, or for this week's chapter, was that we would see Orochi and Komurasaki and Hiyori, which we did not. So I guess that's a bit of a yikes. But for next week's chapter, I'm gonna go with King and Zoro. We're gonna continue this plot thread. Although I think next chapter we're gonna like switch back to another plot thread, but I think we are gonna see like a glimpse of him. So yeah, I really like this chapter. It was a great chapter. Yeah, I am excited to see what Zoro become. Like Zoro and Sanji, this has like, in terms of getting stronger within a single arc, not like in between arcs, like during the time skip or whatever, but I think just in a single arc and getting stronger. I think both Zoro and Sanji, this is like the most for them. Like Wano, like the amount, like they've gotten so much stronger from the beginning of Wano to now. It's crazy. If they get less than 1 billion berry bounty at the end of Wano, like I'm gonna write, like I understand that the world government doesn't know everything, so they wouldn't know, they wouldn't get a full scope of how dangerous they are, but still, like, I feel like they just have to get at least 1 billion. I mean, King and Queen are both over 1 billion, pretty sure, so I think they most likely will, but I honestly think like they should be like approaching like Luffy territory, like 1.5. Maybe not, I don't know. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'm excited for what's to come. I'm excited to learn more about King and his race. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.